Mr. Cheeseburger over here never has to worry about that happening, ever, because the left could never make a cartoon like that. They're not funny. They're objectively not funny people. They're idiots. They can't have any hilarity in their lives because there's no equity in that, is there? Where's the equity? You couldn't make fun of me without possibly offending some class of people. Not possible. Watching Brian react, just burning the bingo card now, it's just so great. Just so awesome. Beetlejuice, 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 says this guy.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Grab a seat, because this one is pure internet gold. So here's the situation. Commentator Andrew Wilson put together a Punch-Out style cartoon poking fun at radio host Brian Shapiro, and instead of brushing it off, Brian played the entire thing on his own stream, and then escalated by challenging everyone involved to a real boxing match. What you're about to watch is Andrew reacting in real time as the whole thing snowballs, complete with jabs about double standards, copium, and which side can actually take a joke. Stick around to the very end, because the way this spirals is genuinely something you have to see for yourself to believe. And before we get rolling, drop a comment and let me know what city or country you're tuning in from. I love seeing how far this channel reaches. Alright, enough setup, let's get into it.
In what world, what Twilight Zone did I wake up in where I get to watch Brian Shapiro reacting to me making fun of Brian Shapiro with a Punch-Out skit? You know, the Lord works in mysterious ways and has a sense of humor. He must. Just checking my super chat operation. Wouldn't let me send my last one. What's up, AW? Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Brian doesn't debate. He just whines and makes emotional appeals. True. Brian watching this is the most, like, it is the icing on every cake. It is the cream in every cup of coffee. It is the the sauce for every taco you'll ever eat. This is the creme de la creme of all internet experiences, is watching Brian Shapiro forced to react to a cartoon made by yours truly making fun of Brian Shapiro.
Looking at you right now and I see a fucking champion.
Thank you.
But if you lose,
Well, I don't...
shut up. God forbid you lose.
Brian Shapiro? Brian Shapiro.
I remember we were writing this out, going back and forth, and I'm like, okay, at the end of this, we have to use Soda Popinski's laugh from Punch-Out. And it's just the same me pointing, but this time in the ref costume, but it's me pointing, and it's not the normal laugh. It's the Soda Popinski laugh from Punch-Out. It was so good. Like, it tied the whole skit together. Yeah, it was really funny. But anyway, so Brian Shapiro, the idiot moron that he is, actually plays this on his stream. I don't know why. I don't know. Don't ask me why this idiot. He actually played it on the stream. Oh, I don't know what I must have done something. I must have been a saint in my former life. A saint, because God is rewarding me this year like no other. I mean, I don't know what I did. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. I don't know what I did. Oh, but this is just glorious.
Okay, you have to understand what makes this so good. Andrew Wilson built a cartoon to mock Brian Shapiro, and instead of ignoring it, Brian sat down and played the whole thing for his own audience. Stop and think about that. You hand your rival the exact ammunition he wanted live on your own channel. That is not strategy. That is a man who could not help himself. Andrew put the whole comedy of it perfectly when he wondered what Twilight Zone he woke up in, where he gets to watch Brian react to Andrew making fun of Brian. And that is the joke. The funniest thing in any feud is when one side quietly does the other side's work for them. Here's what people don't realize. Comedy is a confidence test. When you can laugh at a joke aimed at you, you win the room in 2 seconds. When you sit there stone-faced and replay it for everyone, you confirm the joke landed. Brian replaying that cartoon told the whole internet he was rattled, and rattled people only make sharper and sharper mistakes. Andrew even points out that Brian, the idiot that he is, actually played it on his own stream. And he is not wrong about how strange that is. There was a version of this where Brian laughs, fires back, and walks away looking strong. He picked the other version. He turned the cartoon into the main character of his show. Then Andrew jokes that he must have been a saint in a former life, because the universe keeps rewarding him. Honestly, when your opponent keeps feeding you material like this, it really does feel like cosmic luck. And what gets me is that nobody forced any of it. Brian walked in on his own 2 feet.
Anyway, there you go. That's the, I guess that's Andrew Wilson, the referee.
You know what the mags would be saying?
Yeah, there you go.
If you put out a video like that, they would be.
We would never, this guy's about to tell you about how we would say, oh my God, it's a promotion of violence against, we wouldn't. But the other thing is that there's no, this guy never has to concern himself about it. Mr. Cheeseburger over here never has to worry about that happening, ever. Because the left could never make a cartoon like that. They're not funny. They're just not, they're objectively not funny people. They're idiots. They can't have any hilarity in their lives because there's no equity in that, is there? Where's the equity? You couldn't make fun of me without possibly offending some class of people. Not possible. Watching Brian react, just burning the bingo card now, it's just so great. Just so awesome. Beetlejuice, 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 says this guy. Beetlejuice. He says Shapiro 3 times and he shows up.
Going to hell and back, trying to convince everyone that you're promoting violence and that they were afraid of you. And he put out a video of it showing him being violent. That's so. You see what I'm saying? See the double standard there?
So,
because they would definitely play victim on it.
so the first time
What are they talking about? Stupid.
I saw it, I was laughing, and then I was thinking of how pathetic these people are.
Oh, is it pathetic? People are pathetic and hilarious. They're hilarious too, but also pathetic. Because Mr. Shapiro, target of said cartoon, therefore pathetic, but also hilarious. But pathetic though. Don't forget about that. That's poor guy.
That they have to put together like some sort of cartoon because they're so upset that I embarrass them in these debates. So
it's just so upset that he's just embarrassed. Brian, that's what he's known for. Brian is known far and wide across the internet for embarrassing people in debates. How do you even live with this sort of copium? I have never in my life thought that the meme could come to life. Do you remember the meme? It's been around for years. The guy's hooked up to a machine, an oxygen machine, but it says copium and he's just huffing it. That is actually Brian Shapiro. Amazing.
So instead of asking for another debate or, independently dissecting a debate, what they do.
Asking for another debate. Why would I ever need to ask for another debate when Brian's always in my DMs requesting a debate with me? Why would I ever need to ask for one? Why? What would be the point of that?
Do is they just put together a cartoon. And so here's what I did. Immediately, here's
what he did, ladies and gentlemen. Immediately, by the way, here's what he did.
This is the part that has a real point hiding inside the comedy. Andrew jokes that the left could never make a cartoon like that they are just not funny people. Is that a sweeping generalization? Obviously. But pull the joke apart and there is a genuine observation underneath it. Here is what I mean. Andrew's bigger swing is about the double standard. He argues that if the sides were flipped, the other camp would play victim, would brand a goofy punch-out parody as a promotion of violence, and would push to get it pulled down. And we have all watched that pattern run for years. A joke pointed one direction is harmless fun. The identical joke pointed the other direction becomes a safety emergency. That asymmetry is real, and it deserves to be named out loud. This is the piece people miss about humor and power. The side that can take the hit usually holds the stronger ground, because confidence laughs while insecurity reports. Andrew leans on the copium bit here, and crude as it is, it points at something true. When you cannot beat a joke, you cope with it. You build a case for why it is actually offensive, instead of building a better comeback. And let me give you some real history. because the fight over cartoons is far older than the internet. In the early 1870s, the artist Thomas Nast went after the corrupt New York political boss William Tweed in Harper's Weekly. Tweed reportedly raged about the drawings far more than the written exposes, because his supporters could shrug off an article, but they could not unsee a picture. 150 years later, nothing has changed. A cartoon that lands gets under your skin in a way a paragraph never will, and Brian replaying that one proved it all over again.
When you hear what Brian did, you're going to understand the true strategic genius of one, said Mr. Radio, syndicated radio host Brian Shapiro. When you hear what this guy did, it's uncanny. His strategic mind is miles ahead of everybody else at all times. This guy is playing 8D chess while you and we haven't even got to the 2D table yet. Ready for this? Are you ready for this guy and his incredible comeback? The incredible thing that he's about to do.
What I did, and you can go to my social media. I'm going to talk about this, right? So I challenged all of them to a real boxing fight. Now,
Oh my God, he challenged all of them to a real boxing fight. Oh my Lord, how are we ever going to recover? I didn't think this one through, ladies and gentlemen. Having a seething ginger talking about how he wants to beat me up on the internet, I don't know how I didn't think about the blowback of my action. When you're dealing with that much three-dimensional chess, I don't even know how you keep up. I don't know how you do it. Anyway, this guy's playing 3D chess, and you and we were just playing checkers. If I had thought for a second that this cartoon would have created a situation in which Brian Shapiro went out publicly to challenge everybody who made him upsetty spaghetti to a fist fight, I never would have made it. Not in a million years. It's terrifying. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Now Brian Shapiro is going to beat me up, challenge me to a boxing match. He's going to really do me. He wants to fight the ref of the cartoon too. This guy is a savage, very emotionally stable man. I know the first thing I do when somebody pokes fun at me is tell them that I'm going to beat them up, because I'm a mature person, very emotionally mature, very stable. Isn't that what you guys do too? You guys do the same, right? When somebody kind of pokes a little bit of fun at you on the internet, the first thing that you do is publicly tell them that you're going to beat them up. Isn't that the very first thing you do? Very first thing I do, of course, as an emotionally stable human being.
And here is where the whole thing tips from funny into revealing. Brian's big move after getting hit with a cartoon was to challenge all of them to a real boxing fight. Read that back slowly. The attack was a drawing, the response was a fist fight. That single choice exposes everything. Because here is what people miss. When your answer to a joke is some version of "I will fight you," you have already lost the exchange before a single punch is thrown. You are telling the whole audience you ran out of words. Andrew plays it perfectly by casting himself as the emotionally stable guy whose first instinct is to threaten a beating, and the sarcasm only works because every one of us knows that is the exact opposite of stability. Reaching for your fists over a parody is the most fragile thing a grown man can do in public. And I want to be fair, because this part actually matters to me. I am not impressed by anybody threatening violence, no side, no exception. The point is not that fighting is tough. The point is the reverse. The strong move was sitting right there for Brian the entire time. Laugh, post a sharper joke, walk away taller. Instead, Andrew gets to stand back and marvel at a seething rival promising to beat him up over a video game parody. Who could ask for better material than that? What truly gets me is how avoidable all of it was. A cartoon is the lowest stakes shot on the entire internet. It is crayon-level warfare. And the correct answer to crayon-level warfare is to grab a crayon of your own, not to call for a boxing ring. The side that understands that wins the culture every single time, because comedy travels for free and outrage just drains you. So zoom out with me for a second. This whole saga is a clinic in how not to handle getting clowned online. Brian had a dozen graceful exits and chose the one door marked "I will fight all of you." Andrew barely had to move. He pressed play and let his rival handle the rest. And that, more than any one line, is exactly why people are going to keep replaying this one for a long, long time. So what do you guys think of this? Leave your thoughts down in the comments, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.